I've done had this one running. It started on the 5th pull, and it hadn't been started in months either, and has old fuel in it. Really needs pumped out, I guess. She is filthy. Couple of other, I think 064 actually wiped all the dirt off of and dust, but I think this is one of the first saws I showed doing on the channel a few years back. Not one of the first saws I built, but I really didn't use the channel for that back then. It was just, we'd done a lot of drag racing and gym related stuff, but I took a spell and deleted a bunch of crap off of it. Kind of wish I hadn't. Views are views, but whatever it is, what it is. I think I started the channel in 2010. This saw was gave to me by a friend. I was like, hey, I'm starting to build some saws. You know, where anyone's got any junk saws. He was an old timber cutter. He said, well, I got an 036 up here in a bucket. I'll give you if you'll keep it and use it. He thought it just needed a fuel line, but it ended up PTO bearing was shot. I went in and done a complete OEM rebuild on it. PTO bearing went again. I ended up putting an OEM crank back in it the second time. It's OEM to begin with, but it wasn't in the cases. It was just the crank was walking in and out of the bearing. So we went ahead and just put another OEM 360 crank back in it, and it's got OEM cylinder on it. Highway pop-up. Yeah, I like pop-ups. Some people are against them. If you're just buying one and sticking in a stock saw, I kind of am too. You've got to know how to work the transfers for a pop-up. If you just leave the factory angle on the transfers that's there to begin with, I'm not going to say it's not going to run any better with the pop-up in it, but it can cause some issues. But me personally, I've put several of them in saws, and I changed the angle on the transfers for the pop-up, and you know, we've only seen improvement. And I have a video out there doing, it's the 036 when you sent down to Simple Man. I'd used just a stock replacement piston from the Duke. I don't think I could get no more than 140 PSI out of it. And let's see, it's all in that video. I don't remember the name of it, but you know, I'd put a little bit of time on it, not a lot. It would have picked up a little bit after the ring seated, but I had squished real tight. Exhaust timing was set good. That saw actually run better than this one because I took two saws and ported them with different exhaust timing numbers and everything else matching, and lo and behold, the saw with the later exhaust opening, it wasn't a big difference, but if you was in pretty big or hard wood, it would outcut the saw. Let's see, we went from like 140 to 170 or 175 PSI just from doing a piston swap, and I show it in the video, me checking compression before and after. I showed test cuts before and after, and some pretty good sized wood, and you know, it just ran better. But with that said, that saw would outcut this one. This one chain speed is a little higher. I think the port timing set dead on 100 degrees on this. You know, that's not real bad on a saw like this. I used those numbers for years, 100 on the exhaust, 80 on the intake, and 120 on the transfers. If you can get squished good down around 20 thousandths, you know, those numbers work pretty good. But over the years, I've learned that leaving the exhaust roof just a degree or so higher, you know, you end up the saw that you like a lot better. That's just my opinion on it, but compression's king. I'll argue it with anyone too. But with that said, I'm gonna put this one back up. We do need to get this out and run it some. But hell, you can see it's had shit beat out of it anyway. But with that said, you guys have a good weekend.